Hi friends! After learning about the basic features of NextDFM in the first part, today we turn to the advanced tools in the program. First of all, I would like to introduce you to the tools to edit a PCB. We want to quickly change different elements in a PCB according to our needs. In this example, I don't like the label on the bottom layer and I would like to change the text a bit. To do this, we expose the bottom silk layer, right-click on the layer and apply Close All. This will hide all other layers. Now we click Bot Solder and Bot Silk once, then add a check mark to Bot Silk. This will allow us to edit this layer. We now change the type of selection in the button panel and draw a rectangle around the text. Now we want to delete this text. Just press the Delete button or use the menu Edit, Delete to remove the text. Now it's time to define a new text, so call Edit, Add and select Text, enter a text and select Yes under Mirror, because the text has to be mirrored. A little trick, the hand next to Dimension selects the size of an existing text. So click on the hand and select the text that already exists on the PCB. Now your new text is displayed in the copied size and you can position it. Some elements we want to move. For this, we select another layer, in my case, Bot Solder. Then we click on the element we want to move and select Edit, Move Item. Move on the layer and click Done. For completeness, the function Rotate rotates the element in 90-degree steps. You can also specify the rotation point. You are also able to flip the element on the X or Y axis. You can also specify the rotation point. For the sake of completeness, let's take a look at the settings. Via the menu Settings and Configuration, we reach the Settings window. There, the setup is built in a way that we can switch on or off all features from the DFM analysis individually. In the input fields, which look like a traffic light, we can enter the basic data for the analysis. I don't want to go into every value now, but we can take a setting as an example. Let's take a look at minimum track width. Red indicates an error, yellow a warning, and if the value is in the green area, there is nothing to complain about. So if a copper line is thinner than 3.89764 mil, or about 0.1 millimeters, there will be an error message that this line is too thin. Below 4.88189 mil, or 0.124 millimeters, a warning to make the line a little thicker. Above 8 mil, or 0.2 millimeters, we are within the standards and there will be no message. So now you have to see all the settings that can be seen in this window. Of course, there are also settings that are a bit more complicated. If you are not sure, just leave it at the defaults given by NextPCB and you're on the safe side. Simpler settings, like allowing hole in pad, are also possible. If you turn off the test, there is no error message. There are other settings in the menu. The next one is Object Snap. Here you can set the snap function for different features. Unfortunately, I myself do not know where to find the settings for the network. I think the feature still needs work. In the shortcut settings, we're able to set shortcuts for different features. Just double-click into the feature and then select the key combination. Now we come to an outstanding feature of NextDFM, the tools. Easily accessible from the menu. Let's start with something simple first. To be able to calculate the copper areas of your PCB, there is a very simple tool called Copper Area that calculates how much copper occupies the total area on the layers. This can be important to make different calculations, but we will come to that later. The next tool in our list is the Calculate Soldering Pads. Some vendors want to know exactly how many SMD pads and holes with components exist on the PCB when assembling the boards. To give you an estimate, this tool can help you with that. Just call it up and activate Apply. NextDFM now counts all pads and puts them together in a list. With check, you can see which pads were counted. Let's turn to the tool utilization rate. Several PCBs can be combined on one standard panel. NextPCB offers two formats with a width of 1245mm. One of them is 1041mm high and the other 1092. This tool calculates how many of your boards would fit on this panel and shows their arrangement. Related to this, there is an additional tool, panelization. Here we are able to arrange several of our boards in one panel. We leave the first value from at outline, which is the original milling data for the outline of our PCB. In to, we specify the layer that should contain the panel routing data. In craft side, we can specify the outer edge. In spacing, we specify the spacing of the individual PCBs. Now we can click on Apply and see a new layer where our panel will be stored. So this can be sent to NextPCB, and we now get, in our example, a big panel with 25 single PCBs. There are other tools, but they are very special and you're invited to try them out. Now we come to the most important part. When we've done all the changes and checks, we want to order our PCB at NextPCB. The problem here, which is also my biggest criticism of the program, we can't save our work to work on later. I am in touch with the folks at NextDFM and they are working on a solution. First, let's take a look at the Process Parameters menu item. Here we can set the number of PCBs to be made, how thick the substrate should be, and the copper coating. Of course, we can also set the color of the solder mask, whether the labeling should be in black or white. Tenting vias means if the vias holes should be covered. Here you can see a photo how something like that looks. Sometimes this is necessary, but in most cases we can leave it like this. At the end, we determine how the surface should be treated at the end. So, gold plated with Enig or only tin plated with Hassel. If we want to use this setting more often, we can easily do this via export/import template. With Apply, we can take over the values directly and we see our price from NextPCB in the lower right window. Just click on Order and a few days later, the PCBs will be in your mailbox. So I hope you enjoyed the little course about NextDFM. I enjoyed it, and I'm thinking about publishing such courses for other programs that have to do with PCB manufacturing in the future. So if you don't want to miss anything, subscribe to this channel and get notified when new videos appear on my channel. Wish you all the best, your Frank.